with Remembrance Day coming up, why not analyze one of the biggest and best war films ever made? I'm talking about Oliver Stone's 1986 Oscar-winning film, Platoon. Platoon, maybe just to me, is not the best war movie ever, simply because when you look at the films that have come out in the last 100 years, you're going to find some films that have surpassed it. And you're going to find some films before that were better. But I don't want to take anything away from Platoon. I think it's a wonderful film, but when you look at something that happened in the 1970s, like Apocalypse Now or The Deer Hunter, those things I just think are a little bit better than Platoon. We don't really get much of the home stuff or the aftershocks of coming home from war like we have in how many other war classics. And also, this movie is one of the most violent, well, was for the time, at the time, one of the most violent war films. Because this movie came out in the 1980s, and there's been all these big upgrades and advancements in filmmaking, what Oliver Stone does with Platoon, he increases almost everything just to capture the horror of what actually happened, because Oliver Stone was in Vietnam. This is a Vietnam War film. Yeah, all the intensity between the battles and the psychology and the characters, all that stuff is so accurate, even though I've never been in war before. All that stuff is so accurate that seeing it, you do feel like you're actually there yourself. That's how good of a job Oliver Stone does. And even though this wasn't Oliver Stone's first film, it was his breakout film. And it's still the one that he's most decorated for. It's not my number one favorite Oliver Stone film, but I am glad that this is the film that gave him the most accolades. I'm happy about that. Coming out in 1986, this was around the time of, I guess you could say, war is fun sorts of things. Like there's Rambo 2 and G.I. Joe stuff. And, Francois Truffaut apparently said that, it's almost impossible to make an anti-war film because, when we watch war, it looks so adventurous and exciting, and all that stuff is so impressive to make. Well, when Platoon came out, everyone was saying that, if Francois Truffaut was only alive then, or if he had actually seen Platoon, he would retract some of his statements. Well, I do see where they're coming from, that this movie does do a good job in showing the horrifics of actually being in battle. But one other thing I will say is Oliver Stone is such a good director, and the writing in this movie is so good, the acting is so good, that you really can't help but be enthralled and mesmerized and I guess I would say like what you see, because, as I said, everything is so impressive. And even though this movie is pretty horrifying, the way that it's able to juxtapose the horrors of battle with such excellent technical aspects, you watch it, and if you have any sort of weird feeling, weird reaction to it, it's understandable. If it's just me, then whatever. Yeah, Charlie Sheen goes to fight in Vietnam, and while he's there, he must deal with a bunch of other guys in his platoon that are kind of like him in the sense that they're just regular guys. Some of them are crazier, more macho than he is, Some are more serious, some are more quiet, and the one that he clashes with the most is Tom Berenger. And the other one that he's really strong-willed. He's a kind of a hard ass, but he's one of the more respectable ones is Willem Dafoe. This was Willem Dafoe's breakout film as well. It wasn't his first film by any means, but he was nominated for an Oscar for this, and he's wonderful. Yes, Charlie Sheen is the lead of the film, but the ones that get the most amount of praise in front of the camera are Tom Berenger and Willem Dafoe. And frankly, I'm glad that they get all the respect and praise that they get, but Charlie Sheen is the lead in this film. He's the one that really holds everything all together. This movie does a pretty good job in being a psychological piece on Charlie Sheen's deteriorating mental state because of how horrific everything is. And I think that Charlie Sheen carrying this film, he does do a really good job with it. So kudos to him. I think that he should get more recognition for this than he already does. I really can't fault Platoon with really anything. So even though it's not my number one, it still is high up there. So I do want to give Platoon from 1986 4 stars out of 4. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you again next time.